made it back from Maine, survived the trail. I kind of want to do a gear review video because these are pretty helpful for me before the trail. Most people just do the pre-hike gear videos. I want to do one of post-hike, so you know what actually worked on the trail. Go over some of the good things, facts, some of the bad, and yeah, tell you what I like. Okay, so I'll start with stuff I was carrying. Carried the Granite Gear Crown 2 60-liter pack. I loved it. It was actually a last-minute decision. I was gonna start with an older pack. I wanted to cut weight, so just the week before I started, I ordered this and got it in the day before hitting the trail. But I loved it. Great pack, really lightweight. Carried my stuff. Weren't my favorite. They're my favorite item, but wouldn't recommend the exact model. They're the Lucky Makalu. I like the handle. Handles are nice. The cork. They feel good in sweaty, stinky, gross hands. But my problem was with the locking device. I had problems with it slipping early on. Had to use some Loctite to get it glued in, and now I can't lock it back in place. It just, that one slips all around, and this one is locked shut, so they're no longer usable. If I was to do this again, I would get the Lucky Cork Light. You get the same handle, same pole, but you get the flip locks instead of these crappy screw locks that don't work really well, and it's more versatile, so you can use them for like a tarp tent. Next, what I was wearing. Shorts, I had some just Nike running shorts. Had an Icebreaker merino wool tech tee, which I loved. It really kind of kept the odors down, for me at least. Those around me may not have felt the same, but breathed really well, wore it every day. The only downside is got some holes in the back, but 2,200 miles, I can't complain of that. My feet, I wore 3 pairs of Ultra Lone Peaks. I loved them, they did good. It took a little to get used to, just because there's zero drop, but once I was used to them, they were great. Got 865 miles out of the first pair, and this is the pair I finished in. I had 630 miles on them. I also used some Dirty Girl gaiters just to keep the rocks and sticks and stuff out of my shoes. I loved them, they did great. And up north, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, they really help keep the mud out of your shoes too. So good stuff. So I'm gonna start digging in my pack. So what I had, where I had things, to start at the top. I had a pack towel that I never really used, but I just never sent it home. AWOL's AT guide, it worked, it got me to Maine. It wasn't exactly the most accurate, but I didn't see paying $60 for gut hooks. It would be worth it though, it's a really good app. For my headlamp, I think this was the Black Diamond Spot, I believe. Did good. Also had a homemade Tyvek wallet. I really like that. It's a conversation starter for sure. And I'll keep my phone up here too. On the inside, oh, Thermarest Z seat. Oh my gosh, amazing. It's definitely a luxury item, but it's, I don't know, maybe like an ounce, so it's definitely worth it. It just keeps you from having to sit on wet logs, wet rocks, and it's actually really warm. Gives you a nice warm tushy. I'm gonna go over the outside first. So I had a rain kilt. This is a homemade Tyvek number here. I really wound up not wearing it as much for the rain, just because you're gonna get wet anyway. But it was nice to just to lay out on the ground, on wet ground, and throw your stuff on it. So it's pretty good for that. I had my rain jacket. This was the Patagonia Torrent shell. I was pretty happy with it. Kept me dry for the most part. Still get wet, but it was pretty good. Got really smelly. I washed it a few times, so it wasn't too bad. And I had just a pack cover. I actually went through 3 of these. Started with an REI one. The duck's back, I think it was garbage. It was carrying like a gallon of water in the bottom of it. So I picked up another one in Harper's Ferry, and it was a nice Sil nylon one, and it wound up blowing off of my pack coming down Mount Washington. Had some pretty wicked winds. So then I had to buy Sea to Summit. Spent way too much money on pack covers, but I also kept my Toke's long-handled titanium spoon. One of my favorite pieces of gear. I love my spoon. I actually lost a tent stake on my second night, and I wound up upgrading to a bigger one, so it doubled as my poop trowel. One of the best for digging holes, but it worked. Over here in the outside pocket, I would keep a 1 liter smart water bottle as my dirty water bottle. I use the Sawyer Squeeze. Definitely the most widely used filter on the trail. Do not go with a mini. Everybody would drop that within the first few weeks because it just stopped flowing really good. Also carried Dr. Bronner soap. This I carried the whole trail, and I used just like maybe an ounce, I don't know. Good soap, very concentrated. I use it for my dishes and myself occasionally. Also had bug spray. This is a must when you get up north. Those mosquitoes are nightmares. See the other side, get my handy patch on there. I had a smart water bottle with a little quick flip top on it. Started and finished with this bad boy. This lasted the whole trail. Actually, my dirty water bottle, smart water that I used, it lasted all the way to the whites, and then it died on me. So smart water bottles are amazing. I had a snot rag. I carried a little compass whistle thermometer thing. For the most part, all I used was a thermometer when it was cold, just to see when it was freezing. When I needed to sleep with my Sawyer, I carried just a small pocket knife that I really didn't use much. Every now and then for cutting cheese or something. So the other pocket, I also kept my snacks in there. So mostly Cliff Bars is what I'll use. The other hip belt, I carry my GoPro, which is what I'm filming on. It's a GoPro Hero Plus LCD, I think. Did good. Took some drops, and water and all. Used a stick pick to be able to attach it to my trekking pole tip down here. It just slides over, and to get some shots of myself. So that was good. And up north, I had to pick up a bug net just because the bugs are terrible. I think that's all for the outside. Kind of dig into the pack here. So I'd keep my clothes bag. This is just an REI dry bag, which doubled as my pillow. I'd stuff things in there to be my pillow. Worked good. Toilet paper. I'd keep toiletries just in Ziploc bags. All I had was toothbrush, toothpaste. I wear contacts, so I had to have glasses, contacts, and contact solution. And I kept an extra Sawyer bag just in case my smart water died on me. Other little things, I had first aid kit. I really never used anything in here other than Leuco tape for blisters early on. Leuco tape is definitely the way to go. It stays on for like a week. It's great stuff. Yeah, if you want to cut weight on a first aid kit, don't let your mom help you pack it, for sure. Had electronics. I had little external battery pack did good. A charger, little double port, and some cords, headphones. I carried a little cheap music player just to save room on my phone and not use my phone battery. It worked good. It's nice to have some music. I started with a solar panel thing, but it didn't work good, so switched to the battery. Bear bag and line. I think it's like 50 feet of line, that's all you need. This is some homemade bag I did. Got my cooking pot. It was the ever new titanium ultralight 0.9 liter, I believe. I loved it. Super lightweight, stayed very clean. I never had any issues with food sticking to it. And it's shallower, so the flame hits it good, I guess, and it's a lot easier to eat out of. So inside it I kept my fuel. I carried a stove. I was going to go the alcohol stove route, but I just decided it was too much work and got just some stove. I don't know what it is. Got the job done. It was a little heavy. It could have gone lighter, but it was a free stove. So also kept a pot scraper. So once I was done eating, I just scrape it out, eat the scraps, and then use some water and sometimes some Dr. Bronner soap, and wipe it out with a bandana that I keep in here. And my pot always stayed clean. Definitely one of the cleanest on the trail. Most folks would just put their pot back in their pack, all gross and with food scraps, and I couldn't do that. So for my tent, I used the Big Agnes Copper Spur UL1. Definitely not the lightest option, but I liked it for the side entry and all. A lot of folks use the Big Agnes Fly Creek. That was definitely the #1 tent on the trail, but I heard a lot of complaints from them having to do backwards yoga, as they called it, to get into the tent. So I liked it for that. I could lay in it in rain and cook under the vestibule. It's really nice. Getting roomy. Yeah, kept me alive. Okay, food bag. Just some Sea to Summit bag. I started with another Sea to Summit and it got attacked by a skunk, and he tore it up pretty good, so I got a new one. I just threw some random food in there, but usually this thing would be pretty full. This is a 13 liter. It was a good size. You could go a little bigger, but I think the next step up is 20 liters, and it's way too big. But for the most part, I would bag my day's worth of food in a Ziploc bag. So I'd take like a gallon bag and put my breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the bag. So I'd be able to pull it out by day. I really like that system, worked good. So my sleeping pad, I used the Thermarest Neo X-Lite. I actually started with the long version, which was way too long for me, I didn't need it. And the first night on trail, it popped a leak. So after a few weeks of that leaking down on me and failed attempts at patching it, I called Thermarest, and they wound up sending me a free, completely free, no shipping, nothing, to Hot Springs on the trail for me. So that was awesome. Thank you, Thermarest. It's a great company. And I actually downgraded to the regular, so it's smaller, lighter. I loved it. I slept like a baby on it. It's great. I would say definitely one of the best options as far as sleeping pads. Super thick, I think it's nearly 3 inches. Super warm, super light. Can't get any better than that. I also made a homemade lower upper bag out of a trash bag. So all it was is just a normal garbage bag with the top of a water bottle cut off. Cut a hole in the lid, and you take a rubber gasket for a garden hose, stick in there, and just screw it around the trash bag. I got this idea from another YouTube video, so I can't take full credit for it, but it was good too, because the sawyer, the little O-ring in the sawyer, mine started falling out. So I had the garden hose gasket to stick in my sawyer, which stayed a lot better. So my sawyer actually has the garden hose still in it, and this is the sawyer gasket. So it's good to have a backup. And last, but definitely not least, one of my favorite pieces of gear, my sleeping bag. This was a Feathered Friends Flicker Nano 20-degree bag. I think I only saw one other person with one of these on the trail, and he had raved reviews for it. It's a bag slash quilt, so it has no hood. It unzips fully into a quilt, which is good for those warmer nights, and you can shift the down around in it so that you don't have as much insulation on top of you. The foot box, you can cinch it shut and open it, so it's really nice. I loved it. I think it's 900 plus filled down. I got stuck in a snowstorm in a shelter early on, and the snow just blew in from all sides of the shelter. Everybody else's bag was pretty damp and frozen, and they got really cold. But even though I had ice on the outside of my bag, it was still super warm. I slept fine. Highly recommend checking these guys out, Feathered Friends. Pretty small company, but yeah, so that's all of my pack. Now I'm just gonna show you my clothes. So along with what I was wearing, which I showed earlier, this is the clothes I had. I'll go over the winter stuff first, because that's what I wound up sending home. I had a pair of Columbia long pants. Liked them, they did good. Wound up sending those home, I think, to Damascus. I had a Patagonia Capilene midweight, I believe it was. Really liked that. I could hike in it, sleep in it, layer it, whatever I wanted. A pair of Under Armour Base 2.0 leggings. After I sent home my pants, I wound up keeping those for a little while, which is good. I got a few cold snaps where I wound up using those a good bit, and then sent them home for most of the summer and got them sent back right before the whites, which was really good because I got really crappy weather in the whites and it got cold, so those were definitely good. For insulation, I had a North Face Thermoball jacket. It's synthetic, but it's really good. I liked it. Pretty equivalent to down. I never had to worry about it getting wet. On the occasion that we got snow, it was a really rainy, sleety day that turned into snow, so I was soaking wet by the time that it started snowing, and that was a lifesaver because it kept me warm even when it was soaking wet. So I had just a little beanie that I wound up keeping the whole time. So I sent all these things home, the long pants. I wound up keeping my puffy the whole time, just because it was nice to throw on at night or in the morning. Throw on to keep mosquitoes off of you, whatnot. Had the Outdoor Research cap. It's water resistant, so I would use it with my rain jacket just to keep the hood out of my face. And so town clothes, I had some shorts. These are Mountain Hardwear. It's nice to have pockets when you're walking around in town. And I had a REI Tech Tee. Yep, they're clothes. I never really wore them while hiking, but I had some wool socks for colder temperatures, or in town or after they're getting soaked in the rain. It's good to be able to throw these on, get dry feet. For underwear, I used ex officio underwear. This pair I hiked in. I got this pair first, and I think they were mediums and maybe like a 6-inch leg, and they wound up just riding up and giving me a wedgie immediately. So I got another pair. These were smalls, I believe. Yeah, I think they're 9-inch. Just a longer leg, and they did much better. They never rode up. Super comfortable. Breathed really well. Never got too stinky. So I would definitely recommend these underwear. I would just say make sure you get the right size. Probably get a smaller size than you think you would need. And I think the longer legs help too. So I'd hike in these, and these were just for town, or if these get rained on or whatnot. For socks, I had 2 pairs of Darn Tough. I think they're like just a running sock. I got the ankle high. That's what I prefer. They did great. I would usually hike in this black pair and swap out with this red pair after a few days. These 2 pair lasted the whole way. This pair probably has 1,200 or so miles on them. They never got a hole, never wore through, nothing. They were really comfortable. I didn't have too many issues with blisters. I had just a few minor ones early on, and after that I was good. So Darn Tough, definitely the most used sock on the trail because of the guarantee. They'll give you a new pair if you wear a hole through them. And some outfitters on the trail will replace them for you. Good socks, can't beat them. Yeah, I think that's all. As far as my gear, I was pretty happy with all of it. It got me to Maine. I definitely didn't have the lightest setup, but I didn't have the heaviest either. I think fully loaded with a liter of water and 4 to 5 days worth of food, I was around 35 pounds. So it wasn't the lightest, but it carried pretty comfortably. I hope you enjoy this, and hope it helps on your hike.